How do we make money betting the Warriors and the Celtics? We're going to talk about that. Coming up a little bit later on, we'll check in with our buddy Leon Twyman, Assistant General Manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. Aaron Oster is going to join us in just a second from out in Vegas, where hopefully he is no longer stuck in an elevator. I, like Aaron, was on Gervonta Davis in round 7 through 12. And of course it was round 6. Of course it was. Nothing you can do about it. It's the way it goes. 6. 1 round off. 1 round. So we got to make that money back. That's the plan. Aaron Oster out in Vegas at VSiN. He's up first here on Simply the Bets. Did you manage to get your way out of that elevator, pal?
I did get out of the elevator. I did. It was a tough one, but yeah.
Aaron experienced what is many of our nightmares, and part of the reason, but not the most significant reason, but I do not take elevators any longer in my life. I won't do it unless I'm above the 8th floor. I think the 10th, I think is the number. If I'm above like the 10th floor, I'll take an elevator. But short of that, I will not. And the reason is because of what happened. It's actually not true. The reason is really because it's a good excuse for me to get some steps in and to not be a fat ass. That's the real reason why I don't take elevators. But Aaron attended the big professional wrestling event. And this was at the big arena in Vegas, correct?
Yep, T-Mobile Arena.
And how many of you were in said elevator?
9. And It was a bigger elevator, so we had a little space.
I don't know. I would get real claustrophobic real quick. There would be some panic setting in pretty quickly in that. You said you were stuck in there for how long?
Close to an hour.
I would want to die. I would want to die. I would not. At about the 10-minute mark, I would no longer be cool. I would ask, did you ask if anyone had any drugs? Like, did you say, does anyone have something that can alter my state at this point? Because that's about the only way I could see myself surviving an hour stuck in an elevator.
Yeah, it was interesting, kind of oscillating between making a lot of jokes and just like silence for about 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah. Was the conversation broached about what happened if someone needed to urinate?
Briefly.
Yeah.
Because there was a pregnant woman.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh no.
You just gotta establish a corner.
Yeah, right.
Did you guys? I was gonna. Did you create sort of a shadow government in the elevator? Was someone? Was it a Lord of the Flies situation? Did someone have a conch, and were they in charge in those?
Well,
did anybody say "sucks to your Asmar"?
Basically, the guy who was next to the call button was kind of the default spokesperson until about the 30-minute mark, where the pregnant woman basically just started yelling at the person.
Understandably, by the way.
Exactly.
Well, I'm glad you made it out. I'm glad you're all right. I'm not glad that we were on Gervonta Davis to reach round 7, and he came up 1 round short. That is
20 seconds. Come on.
That is
Hang on a little longer.
Quite frustrating, but such is life. Let's get into it. 5 L's for the week. Aaron Oster tells us bets that we should be making. Let us begin. What is your local bet for this week?
I was hoping Fanduel would have something fun for Maryland baseball at this point, regional odds, whatever. They don't have that right now.
So by the way, I'm not feeling, after what I saw from them this weekend, I'm not feeling so great about that ticket I purchased last week.
No, and if you look at Fanduel now, you could get a much, much, much better number. If you still believe in Maryland, it's, I believe, 120 to 1 at Fanduel right now. They have a very tough. Not just because of last week, though. They have a very tough road. They were not given any favors by the committee, and even if they make it out of their region, they have Stanford staring at them. So
not ideal.
Not great, Bob. Not great.
Not ideal. All right. So what do you got instead?
I'll play the Mariners-Orioles game today. The line's not up at Fanduel, which is odd because it's up at just about every other place.
Well, the Orioles hadn't announced a pitcher.
I understand that, but I think everyone acknowledges the bullpen game. Fanduel's about to put it up. Everybody else has it up. I can tell you that it's about Mariners are a -120 to -125 favorite. And I do like the Mariners in this game, not just because it is a bullpen game. For the Orioles, George Kirby has been not spectacular, but fairly solid for the Mariners this season and has underlying numbers that show that he's actually pitched a little bit better than his numbers indicate. And I think the Mariners are actually starting to round a little bit more into form what we expected of them at the beginning of the season. Julio Rodriguez starting to really hit the ball well. He's actually one of the favorites now for AL Rookie of the Year. Good for that ticket that we placed a few weeks ago. Ty France starting to really hit well, and they just took 2 or 3 from the Astros. So at 120, 125, I really do like the Mariners at this price. I would probably play it depending on what Fanduel puts the lineup at, probably up to about minus 135.
Well, what a piece of crap you are. What a terrible human being. You're not even giving me plus money. You're making, God, I hate that. All right, give me a long shot. Let's start there. Give me an underdog that you like.
All right, for long shot, I'm going to look at the NBA Finals here. I'm going to look at the NBA Finals MVP market. And when I'm looking for a long shot here, obviously Steph, Tatum, they're the 2 favorites. And if you want to play them instead of playing, whatever team you believe is going to win for this series, I have no problem with that play. I think, when we first started this, I talked about going that route for the Super Bowl. I think it applies here for the NBA Finals. You take the best player. If they win, you get a little extra money on top.
It's a little trickier with the Warriors, though.
It absolutely is, which is why, actually, my favorite long shot play, Klay Thompson, 14-1 to win NBA Finals MVP.
Okay.
Again, you're looking at long shot here. I'm saying that the Warriors are going to win, but Steph isn't going to win MVP. How's that going to happen? Well, you look at players who can fill up every stat on the board, and that's Klay Thompson. And not just that, this game, I think a lot of people expect this game to go 6 or 7. That's the favorites, go deep, which means that when voters come around to vote, they're going to be looking at, the last game of the series pretty strongly.
And if it gets to 6 games, then we know Klay Thompson's going off.
Exactly. Klay is just so dominant in these closeout games that if you tell me he drops 35, 40 in a game 6 or a game 7 to seal it for the Warriors and Steph isn't being, super Steph, I think 14-1 is actually not a bad play at all on Klay Thompson.
All right. I'm not – actually, there's something to be said for that and the value of it. I get it. It also, in a weird way, feels like there's like a determination that if the Warriors win, that Steph Curry's got to be Finals MVP right now because he's never been Finals MVP.
Because he's done it right.
So I do wonder about that a little bit and, like, do the Warriors do some things, try to force it? Like, that's in the back of my mind, right? Like, are the voters, are they saying, hey, if it's even close, we've got to give it to Steph because he's never been Finals MVP before, right? Like, those things are in the back of my mind. But as far as value is concerned, I get exactly what you're saying. I completely understand why at 14-1, there is a viable scenario by which Klay Thompson could be Finals MVP, and if that's the case, why not put a few bucks down on that in order to see if you can't get it to pay off?
Exactly.
Your long-term bet for the week, your futures bets.
This is a pitcher I've looked at a few times. I've mentioned him as kind of a lean on strikeout props for my love a couple times. Shane McClanahan to win AL Cy Young right now. He's been absolutely lights out for the Rays. He's 5-2 with a 2.01 ERA, and yet when you dig into the advanced numbers, the xFIP and the like, numbers are actually better than they indicate, and that's kind of impressive considering the 2.01 ERA, second in the league in Ks per 9, and as I mentioned, the best xFIP in baseball. I think at plus 750, that number is going to go down really quickly as people are starting to catch on to this. Wouldn't shock me if by the end of after his next start, it's down to 5-1, maybe even 4-1. I think now is the time to get on Shane McClanahan for AL Cy Young. So, yeah, plus 750, I think, is a good price right now for that.
I don't know enough about it's so early on in the process, right? That, like, I have no idea how I feel about any of it, but sure. Why not? Why not dip a couple of bucks on that? He's our buddy Aaron Oster from VSiN out in Las Vegas. He's with us here on Simply the Bets, brought to you by the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Let's go next to the bet that you say stay the hell away from. Treat this bet as if it were the monkeypox. What is the bet that is a loser for you this week?
I had a little bit of a trouble finding a loser. Usually there's one that jumps out to me right away. But then I did find one, and I did a little digging, and I like it even less than I originally thought. The White Sox, despite being 4.5 games back in the AL Central, still an odds-on favorite at minus 105 to win the division. And I get it. Look, the White Sox were pretty heavy favorites going in. There's no team in the AL Central that's really dominant. As much as anything was probably about liability. But looking into it, and obviously it's still early and anything can happen, but looking into it, like there's nothing about the White Sox, the way they've played, that indicates a turnaround is coming. And that doesn't mean that it's going to be bad. It doesn't even necessarily mean that they're not going to win the division because, again, the division's not very good right now. But usually when you see these things, these early, teams in second, teams in third, teams who not in first, who are odds-on favorites, there's something about it. There's something about the underlying numbers that say, oh, some positive regression is coming. They've gotten unlucky here. Their run differential's a lot better than their record indicate. And none of that applies to the White Sox. Like I said, they might end up winning the division, but I can't tell anybody to be betting minus 105 on it. If it was plus 150, if it was plus 175, I would say, okay, maybe that's worth the flyer. But there's no way there's more than a 50% chance of the White Sox winning this division. So please stay away from this until it gets back up to plus money.
My buddy Zach Goodman, who's sitting in with us today from the Batarang, he loves the Twins. He says you should be throwing your money on the Twins right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're, as far as betting goes, they're undervalued from where they should be because they're a team that, frankly, is winning a lot of baseball games, and the rest of the division, frankly,
not doing that. Yeah,
right.
That's
so
a great point.
It seems pretty safe to me.
But when you have such a popular players manager as Tony La Russa, you just got to figure that the guys they're going to be inspired to rally around him as the season goes on.
No, I have no doubt that the White Sox will eventually get better, and that they will.
Because they still have plenty of talent. There's
they do.
No question about
they have
that.
plenty of talent, and there's a lot of games left in the season. But I don't think it's a bad idea right now to say that the Twins are a good baseball team because they have plenty of talent too. I mean, they signed Carlos Correa in the offseason. So it's not exactly like the Twins are that much depleted compared to the Chicago White Sox.
And by the way, I think the Guardians are live in this division as well. I think that I'm not necessarily saying go out and buy the ticket, but if it ends up that the Guardians are in first place in September, it wouldn't shock me one bit.
Okay. There still has to be an amount of commitment from that franchise that they're gonna try. That still has to involve that and not going the exact opposite way before I necessarily believe it. And then the bet that you love. Give me the bet that you say skip going to see Top Gun. Skip everything that you have scheduled for the week. Only worry about getting to the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in order to make this bet. What is your love bet for the week?
Well, clearly it's not just skipping going to Top Gun. It's going to get the money that lets you go see Top Gun in theaters now.
That's right. Right. Instead, take that money and do this with it.
Yes. This one is as much of a heart bet as much as a head bet because I want to be on this ticket because it's going to be a fun ride tonight. Oilers Avalanche over 7 goals. You never see sevens pop up in the NHL, and you're seeing it here. But for good reason. Look, we saw everything that happened in that Oilers Flames series, and the Avalanche might even be a better offense than the Flames are. This is going to be a really fun one, especially in Game 1 before they really feel each other out defense. I expect absolute explosions in this one. Everything we've seen, Jesus really going off. If you want to play him for a goal, I don't hate that either in this game. And when it hits 7, it usually hits 7 for a reason. It's funny, this happens in football and really in all sports. Everyone sees these record totals go up, and they immediately say, oh, well, this has gotten out of control. We have to see the unders. But overwhelmingly in sports, it's a funny trend. When you see rare numbers like this, it hits the over at an outrageous clip. I believe it was the number, and it's different for every sport, but when it hits at about a 62% clip. So I'm going to play it here. I'm going to play the over 7. It's plus 104 at Fanduel right now, so you're getting plus me as well. And you know what? It's going to be a fun ride, so you're going to want this ticket just to have it. And then when there's 12 goals and by the second period, you're going to be happy.
There is a lot of firepower in this series, man. There is an awful lot of things that can happen in a hurry, right? In a blink, and you don't know what could go down. Some would say it's absolutely insane to bet over 7 in any hockey game ever, right? Someone would say, no. Not given what it is that you're staring at here. Not given that. It ain't insane at all. All right, very good. Those are the 5 L's for the week. Aaron, remind everybody what VSiN's got coming up.
Of course, check out VSiN.com. We have a $39 deal right now. You get everything. You get all of our daily coverage. You get our newsletters. You get our best bets, as well as our weekly point spread weekly guides. We have daily MLB picks, NBA picks, NHL picks, all coming out. And then with all the big events, whether it's a big fight, whether it's the Belmont Stakes, whether it's the NBA draft coming up, we'll have specialized guides for that, telling you how to bet and how best make money. So check that all out at VSiN.com.
And, of course, he's on Twitter at the Oster as well. Aaron Oster, appreciate you, my friend. Glad you're not stuck in the elevator any longer. We'll talk to you next week.
Hope all my bad luck was used up there. All the good luck's going to you guys. Everyone cashes some tickets this week.
No doubt, man. Thanks, buddy. Aaron Oster, our friend from out in Vegas at VSiN. Appreciate him taking a couple of minutes for us this morning here on Simply the Bets. A reminder, the finals get underway on Thursday, and the place to be for every game during the NBA Finals is the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. You're going to want to reserve your spot because there are big crowds for the finals. So make sure you reserve your spot for Thursday, Game 1, Sunday, Game 2, any game during the course of the NBA Finals. Reserve your spots by emailing events@sportssocialmd.com. It's events@sportssocialmd.com. Get your table reserved, get your reclining chairs reserved, whatever it is, events@sportssocialmd.com. Is that Leon Twyman? All right, well, we'll talk to Leon now, and then we'll grab a break. That's the way we'll go about doing it. He is our friend, the assistant general manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. He's our buddy Leon Twyman, and he's with us now here on Simply the Bets. What's going on, pal? How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right, man, other than the fact that Gervonta Davis couldn't have waited one more goddamn round in order to knock out Rolando Romero, who I'm still pretty sure doesn't know where he is at this point. I'm still pretty sure he is on another planet. Other than that, I'm fine, Leon. That was a bit of a bummer for me, sitting there in rounds.
It was a crazy fight. The sportsbook was insane. It was probably more people in there for that fight than what we had for Super Bowl.
Holy crap! I
mean, they were everywhere, like in between the slot machines, in between table games, standing on the stairs, the walkways. They were just all over the place. It was absolutely insane in there, and I loved every moment of it.
It speaks to I know Gervonta is a draw everywhere, but clearly, particularly here in his hometown, he is a massive draw, man. Like, it is a big deal. So, if you bet Gervonta in any way, you're feeling good. But if you specifically took that the alternate betting round option of 7-12. You are struggling today. You are struggling with that.
Yeah, definitely struggling with that one. We had a lot of people take that, actually.
Oh, God, that was unpleasant. All right, Leon, let's talk about the NBA Finals. They get underway on Thursday night, and Thursday, Sunday, then things kind of get weird. Wednesday, it's a weird schedule for how the finals work. But everything gets underway on Thursday night, and I know that. Basketball typically leads to huge crowds as well in the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. Let's go through what might be available finals betting-wise that perhaps wasn't available earlier in the playoffs.
So we have actually quite a few things that we have going on. Some of the typical stuff, you obviously can bet, series wins. You can do highest points per game average in the series, highest rebound average, assists, three-pointers. But one that actually stuck out to me that I really liked were just like some of the parlays of, for example, you have Steph Curry here as the highest points and three-point average in the series at plus 430.
Oh, I like that. I mean, but it's highest points from either team, right?
Correct.
Boy, that is tough though, right? Because the Warriors are just a bit more balanced, and I think we're all assuming that Jason Tatum's going to be the guy for Boston. So, do you really trust that Steph Curry is going to have a higher points per game average than Jason Tatum? That is tricky. That's a tricky little one there, Lee. I love the number. I love that, but
yes. And if
boy.
you want to play it a little safer, they do have Steph Curry to average 25 plus points and Golden State to win the series That's at plus 145. If you want to play it a little safer, if you have some faith in Golden State to win that series.
I think, by the way, I do, for what it's worth, Leon. Like, I think that I'd be looking for parlays that would involve Golden State winning and something else because they're just so insanely loaded, man. Like, it's God, Kevon Looney's been a monster during these playoffs, right? Like, they have so much. I have not given Boston nearly enough respect. I haven't given Jason Tatum enough respect over the last, but like, this is a different animal, dude. Like, there's just Jordan Poole could go. Like, there's so much going on over there. Andrew Wiggins was a machine the last series, right? Like, I don't know how they account for all of that. I think I feel pretty good about the Warriors going into these finals.
Yeah, definitely. They're a finals team, as we all know. So, this is second nature to them.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the MVP odds, right? We were just talking about this a second ago with Aaron Oster. It actually is kind of difficult because if you believe the Warriors are going to win, there's always this eternal argument that if you believe a team is going to win a series like this, instead of betting the team to win, you bet whoever their best player is to be MVP because you're going to get better odds, right? Like,
correct.
That's a better way to go about doing it. But it's really tricky with the Warriors, right? Because we know Steph Curry's their best player, but he's never been Finals MVP before. And we just also know the uniqueness of what it is they bring to the table, that it kind of could be anyone on any given night. So I don't even know how you go about betting Finals MVP in this series.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. It's one of those things. Definitely something to really study and look into before you throw some money around on it.
For what it's worth, Curry plus 105, Tatum plus 180, Jalen, and that's, by the way, the disparity and the difficulty of despite the fact the Warriors are favored to win the series, the next two guys on the list are both Celtics. And then you get to Klay Thompson at 14 and Draymond Green at 14. Jordan Poole.
Right.
Jordan Poole's got to be live at 36-1, right? Like, there's a little juice to be squeezed at Jordan Poole at 36-1, isn't there?
There definitely is.
I'm torn. I might end up buying multiple tickets. I might be that doofus that has a bunch of different tickets on Finals MVP, and they all end up being worthless. Leon Twyman, the assistant GM of the Fanduel Sportsbook, he is with us here on Glenn Clark Radio. Leon, anything else Finals related? Anything reminders that you want to have for people about how they bet, things along those lines?
Yeah. So again, we have 61 kiosks that are operational 24/7. So if we're not opening the book, you can feel free to come in after hours and place wagers. We have all kinds of options. Again, you have the Finals MVP, outright betting. You have different type of series bets, and you can also bet the individual games as well. So there's definitely plenty of options and plenty of ways to bet the Finals and just have fun with it and make it your own.
What else are you guys seeing action on? What else? What's been something maybe? What was a bet that came in this week that you're like, that's interesting?
We're getting. I don't understand it, but we are getting hammered right now on the Orioles.
Ooh, really?
Like, people are still hammering that bet for some reason.
Is it?
I guess because we're in the area, but it still surprises me just how much money people are actually dumping on the Orioles right now to either win the World Series or win their division.
This is wild. Look, there are dumber things to do, but there aren't many.
Do people know what team this is?
I think this is the weird part. I think there's an amount of excitement related to the fact the Orioles aren't as bad as everybody thought they were going to be, right? And so because that's the case, you want to have that ticket, right? Like, you want to be the guy that said, I got a ticket. And I remember like seeing what the number was, and I'm trying to look at what it is now. It's gone up. It's plus 200,000 on the Orioles to win the AL East. What I'll say is, with the Red Sox being plus 3,000, that number doesn't make sense, right? I'm not trying to knock anybody at the fine folks at FanDuel. I want to make that very clear. But that number doesn't make sense. It shouldn't be it shouldn't be that great of a disparity between the Red Sox and the Orioles as far as their odds are concerned. But
the fact is,
yes, you're still not. There's no way I get it. It sounds juicy, right? 2,000 to 1. You make a $1 bet on the Orioles to win the AL East, and if they win, you get $2,000. It sounds like you can't lose,
It feels
right?
like you should get more than that if the Orioles win the World Series. I mean,
well, the World Series is different. I'll pull up the World Series odds in a second. That's just to win the AL East.
Okay.
You get it's a 2,000 to 1 odds to win the AL East, and because they're not garbage, because they're not what last year's Orioles were, you're like, well, hell, why not? It's only going to cost me a couple bucks. Just start doing that math, right? A $5 ticket would pay out $10,000. I get it. It's just we all know the reality. You're donating your $5.
Yeah, pretty much. You're just donating it.
Yeah. Like you're helping pay Leon's salary, which he appreciates.
I was gonna say nobody
yes,
minds.
I love it. I love it. Keep coming.
Right.
The money in.
You are donating. That's what you're doing with that. You are donating that money. That's all that you're doing with that. I had no problem with people putting in Adley Rutschman at Rookie of the Year at 13 to 1, right? Only because it didn't seem like anyone was really separating themselves in the American League early on as being like the guy to be Rookie of the Year. So if Adley Rutschman came on, got off to a hot start, like he could absolutely insert himself into the conversation. He hasn't lit the world on fire necessarily over his first week or so in the major leagues, but I don't think anybody has separated themselves to the point where it's still crazy to toss in. Like if you want to have an Orioles bet in, if you want to feel feelings the rest of the way as an Orioles fan, why not toss a couple of bucks on Adley Rutschman as Rookie of the Year at 13 to 1, right? Like that to me is
Might as well do it.
Right? It's a far more reasonable bet to make than just donating your $5.
For 2,000 to 1 odds.
Is anybody putting in like real money on it, by the way, Leon? Like, has anybody come in and been like, I'm going to put $1,000 in on the Orioles to win the AL East?
So I haven't seen more than a few hundred, but it's
still,
definitely been like hundreds.
Still, Leon, who has this money? Who's
right.
putting hundreds of dollars on the Orioles to win the AL East? That makes no goddamn sense to me whatsoever. Hey, man, look, God bless you. And by the way, they'll be laughing at us. They will be laughing at us if somehow.
Oh, yeah, they'll definitely come back on this.
No doubt. They will let us know. Yeah, really? You were laughing at me? How you feel now? For the record, the Orioles, it's wait, now this makes no sense. The Orioles are plus 100,000 to win the World Series. We gotta figure this out right now. How does this work? The Orioles are plus 200,000 to win the AL East. They're plus 100,000 to win the World Series.
I could have sworn that when we did the show last week that I looked at the Orioles number and it was plus 20,000 for the AL East, but I could be wrong.
I'm telling you, I can see how many zeros are in this number. It's 200,000.
Well, maybe they added another one since last week. That makes very little sense.
You look at the number of zeros in there.
I see it.
200,000.
It's 200,000. Yeah.
Now look at the number here, the World Series.
I'm just saying I think they changed it as of last week.
Now, how does that work, Leon, that they have better odds of winning the World Series? And I guess because you could be a wild card. Never mind. I can answer this. I'm a stupid person. Because you could be a wild card team and get in. And if you do get in, everybody's got the same chance.
But does it not take into account the fact that you would play, most likely the Dodgers or the Braves or someone significantly better than you?
It still doesn't. Don't make that bet. Don't do it. I mean, Leon wants you to. Leon says definitely go make that bet.
Yes, I support it 100%.
Make another bet. There's other good bets to make. I just told you, bet Adley Rutschman Rookie of the Year instead. That's a better bet. It doesn't have the same payout, but it's got a better chance. All right, anything else that should be on everybody's radars this week, Leon?
No, that's pretty much it, man. Just hopefully get everybody in, start the finals, and have a good time in the Fanduel Sportsbook live.
No doubt. Starts Thursday night. Again, reserve your spot for Game 1 on Thursday. Game 2, remember, Game 1 is at 9 o'clock on Thursday. Game 2 on Sunday is actually at 8 o'clock on Sunday night. So reserve your spot, events at sportssocialmd.com. Leon Twyman, always appreciate you, my friend. We'll talk to you again next Tuesday, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
That's our buddy Leon Twyman, the assistant general manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. I am a man who holds a ticket on Carlos Alcaraz to win the French Open, and I am I'm not doing well right now. I'm despondent at the moment.
Are you concerned? Are you worried?
Look, he's already shown even earlier in this tournament the ability to grind out, win 5 setters.
Okay,
he's plenty capable of doing that. He's a very young man, no problem. But it hasn't. It's not good. He's down 2 sets. And it's so much worse that it's Alexander Zverev, who we have every reason to believe is just a terrible human being, just a wretched, awful human being. And you always root against Alex Zverev in every circumstance. So this would be, like, as a tennis fan, this is my nightmare. Like, the idea of Carlos Alcaraz, my guy, losing to Alex Zverev is a true nightmare, and I don't much want to talk about it at the moment. I wonder how that updates the live bet. Like right now, because he's down 2 sets, I just wonder what that does, because he was the favorite. Yeah, that number has moved. He's now plus 1,000. Yeah, that number has moved significantly.
That seems bad.
Yeah, because of these 2 sets. Because he's down. I mean, that's the nature of it. He's down 2 sets.
Sure.
It's moved significantly. All right, we come back in. Did you do a tidbet or?
I'm going to do one during the break. We'll get that figured out. I did not have a chance yet.
All right, tidbet of the week, and I'll just update a couple other odds-related things before we wrap up for Simply the Bets. Sports fans, the wait is over. The all-new Fanduel Sportsbook is now open at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover, Maryland. This is your chance to win big right in your own backyard. Bet on every sport with self-service kiosks and watch all of the action from the best seat in the house. Make every moment more at the all-new Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit mdgamblinghelp.org.
That first sip. That first bite. Start your day off right with a delicious breakfast at Royal Farms. Choose from a fantastic selection of fresh Royal Farms breakfast sandwiches and top it off with a rich hot cup of the freshest coffee in the world. At Royal Farms, breakfast is available day and night. It's the freshest breakfast in the world. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
Baseball is back, and so is the spring seasonal menu at Glory Days Grill. Start with the opener, flash-fried pork belly with our popular Korean No. 2 sauce, and take a bite out of the Crunch Burger, topped with home run sauce, white American cheese, and house-made chips. It also features irresistible options like a baseball-cut sirloin with blue cheese, grilled shrimp with garlic butter, and a strawberry salmon salad. And then there's the closer, the Cracker Jack Sundae with a waffle, ice cream, and Cracker Jack. This menu will be gone at your neighborhood Glory Days Grill. GloryDaysGrill.com to find out more. Great food, good sports.
The 2022 baseball season is in full swing, and the future is brighter than ever for your Baltimore Orioles. I'm Paul Valley.
And I'm Zach Goodman.
And together we bring you the Bat Around every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon with everything you need to know about the Orioles and baseball as a whole. From veterans like Cedric Mullins, Austin Hayes, and Ryan Mountcastle,
to young stars like Adley Rutschman, Grayson Rodriguez, and DL Hall.
We've got you covered for every game, every pitch,
and every debut.
You can watch us at youtube.com/PressBoxOnline and Facebook.com/PressBoxSports, or you can listen at PressBoxOnline.com/radio. So join us live on the Bat Around every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon right here at PressBox Sports.
The Toyota Tacoma comes in a wide range of models and trim lines. You can choose the perfect Toyota to reflect your unique personality and driving habits. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Tacomas from your local Toyota dealer today.
It's statistically proven that the show sounds better if you're not wearing pants. Like me, right now. You're listening to Glenn Clark Radio.
We're actually listening to Simply the Bets right now as we wind down for this week's program. I actually have prepared tidbet of the week for this week.
Let's hear it.
I'm going to bail you out here.
Sounds
Zach.
good. Sounds good.
You know, I'm talking a lot about Nadal Djokovic coming up later on this afternoon. This comes to us from the Action Network. Appreciate them sharing this information. As might not surprise you, Rafael Nadal not normally an underdog on clay. In fact, it hasn't happened much at all. And only 3 times ever has he been an underdog against Novak Djokovic on clay when they've matched up against each other. Not just at the French, but any clay court tournament anywhere. Only 3 times ever. And that's the case today. Today, Rafael Nadal is an underdog. He's plus 198. Novak Djokovic minus 240, according to Fanduel, in the quarterfinals of the French Open. Rafael Nadal just not used to being an underdog on clay. The only 3 times that he's been an underdog to Djokovic on clay, Djokovic has won all 3 times. Djokovic beat Nadal in 2015, both in Monte Carlo and at the French Open, and then in 2016 in Rome. He was a favorite in all 3 of those matches. Nadal was going through some health stuff. Won all 3. So, perhaps that's a guide. Again, Djokovic a favorite against Nadal on clay today. All 3 times he's been a favorite against Nadal on clay in his career, he's won those matches. So just keep that in mind. In fact, he hasn't dropped a set to Rafael Nadal in any of those matches. So just keep that in mind if you want to bet that huge French Open quarterfinal a little bit later on this afternoon. All right. That was, I think that's it. Oh, I wanted to update. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to update. Or actually, I saw one other thing. Oh, I pulled this from Darren Rovell's Twitter page. Hang on a second. Sorry. The state of New York put in, oh, man, hang on. I had it. I know I had it. I swear I had it. I promise. And now I can't find it. The state of New York announced their handles for how much money they've made betting, and it's unbelievable. It's astounding.
I was going to say, it's probably out of this world.
And I don't remember. I believe they are offering at betting. New York announces it has collected $267 million in tax revenue from sports gambling, more than any other state. In the last 2 months, New Yorkers have placed $2.8 billion.
Well, hopefully they didn't bet on the New York Yankees to win the World Series, because we all know what happens once the New York Yankees get to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's never... Anyway. All right, very good. Thanks to Zach. We will be back on Thursday for Weekend at Bookies. We'll be back tomorrow morning for Glenn Clark Radio. For Zach, I'm Glenn. And thanks to Leon and